and it is the job of government to justify how every last dollar is being spent. Keeping the doors locked shut on expanding the Sunshine List does none of this. That's why I'm here today. Wildrose will shed in some light if the PC government won't. New Freedom of Information documents obtained by the Wildrose shows some startling numbers coming out of AHS about the number of employees earning over $100,000. From 2009 to 2013, these documents reveal the number of employees earning over $100,000 more than double, going from 4,688 in 2009 to an alarming 9,800 in 2013. Using these 2013 numbers, the number of staff who earn over $100,000 would soak up well over $1 billion from the annual AHS budget. With almost 10,000 people making more than $100,000, Alberta Health Services has now more than 3 times as many eligible Sunshine List employees as the entire government of Alberta. So how can AHS be excluded from the Sunshine List? And this is why it matters. All of the Freedom of Information documents can show us are the number of employees earning over $100,000. There is no disclosure about what these positions are, what their total compensation is, how much these top salary earners take home compared to all other AHS staff, and there's no ability to compare across the country. It's a far step from full transparency, and it's exactly why Mr. Prentice and his colleagues need to revisit their latest broken promise and work immediately to extend the Sunshine List to all branches of government. Albertans deserve better from their leadership. I'm here to say that Wildrose is fully committed to open and transparent government, to putting taxpayers first, and to keeping their word. And with that, I'd be happy to take questions.
How many total employees AHS has that? What percentage this is?
I don't have that specific number of the total number of AHS employees, but 10,000 making over 100,000 is a large number, and it's more than double. And I don't think the AHS budget has doubled correspondingly in that time period.
Is this just a base salary, or does this include total compensation?
The FOIP request simply shows us that they earn an income over 100,000. So this is why we need to see what the total compensation is. If you go back, there's precedent for this. It doesn't seem that far long ago, but in the first couple of months after getting elected, we heard about Aludin Morelli, the former CFO of Alberta Health Services. We finally actually got to see their contract, and it was alarming. Like, as a lawyer, I was saying, how could you possibly write this contract? And in fact, that his expenses were allowed, fixing his Mercedes and fancy dinners and hotel rooms and all this kind of stuff. And he subsequently was successful in suing the government. We need to see these contracts. This is Albertans' money. It's not the government's money. It's not AHS's money. It's Albertans' money, and they have a right to know this information.
Why has the number doubled since 2009?
Well, it seems that with the centralization of Alberta healthcare into AHS, the whole bureaucracy is absolutely bloated. And this is a question though. This we don't have the information. If the government's not going to disclose which contracts these are, if it's for a head nurse in a hospital, that's one thing. If it's for an extra VP of linens or something like that, that's a total different matter. But we need to be able to find out that information. If the official opposition doesn't have it, and the media doesn't have it, and third parties don't have it, there's no accountability in our healthcare system.
Because you don't have a breakdown in terms of, or you weren't provided a breakdown in terms of whether these are medical staff or administrative staff.
We were not. And this is, we've tried our best through the FOIP system. We shouldn't have to go through the FOIP system. This should all be public information. Other provinces do this. Why can't Alberta do it? I mean, it's time that we stop lagging behind in Canada and actually lead the way. And this would be a chance for at least the PC government to get in line with other provinces across the country.
Beyond calling for the Sunshine List to be expanded, are you asking the health minister to do anything about this, or the head of HS?
Well, if you remember, Premier Prentice said this is a very hands-on minister. Well, how is it hands-on if he doesn't even disclose the number of employees making over $100,000? The government's been saying AHS is an arm's length entity. We're not going to look into it. Well, that's not being hands-on. There should be ministerial accountability. He should be able to go in there and see if there's any waste that can be trimmed. We're going into tough economic times. How can you trim the waste if it's not made public of 10,000 employees, what they're doing and how much they're making in total compensation? There's just no way to do it.
Premier's office is saying they're committed to doing this, but there's 200 of these boards and agencies and commissions, so it's taking some time. Is that the same thing as blocking it?
Well,
breaking a promise?
This isn't a brand new issue. I mean, this was, it was first started under Redford, I believe. It shouldn't take that long. This is not a complicated process. You simply disclose the contracts and disclose the individuals and how much they make. The Wildrose even had to disclose, one employee making over $100,000 within our caucus. I don't think this is if you're actually serious about trimming waste in the largest budget portfolio in Alberta, this information should be readily available to the minister. How can the minister possibly think he's doing his job if he doesn't have this information in front of him right now?
And why do you think then it's taking this long?
I think it's perhaps if you're not willing to disclose something, the assumption should be that they're trying to hide something. I mean, maybe there's hundreds of employees here that have political connections that we don't know about. What do you have to hide? If someone's making over $100,000 and they're qualified and they're entitled to that compensation, there's no problem.
What do you think Albertans would think about this information you uncovered?
I think Albertans won't be that surprised. I think they know that there's a massive bloated system, that executives, high-level executives within AHS are getting extravagant amounts of money, and that they are telling us that they want the monies to go right to the frontline workers and not to these high-level and high-paid individuals. So I think Albertans won't be shocked, but they'll be saddened to hear that there's quantifiable evidence that shows that the bureaucracy's been growing like this.
Shift gears, Shayne, the Tories are offering Wildrose to exchange your memberships. What do you think about that? And do you know of any Wildrose members who are taking them up on it?
I don't know of any Wildrose members that are taking them up on that, and I highly doubt that a $10 fee was an impediment to someone joining the PC party, so I don't expect many members to take them up on that. If someone wants to join a political party and $10 is an impediment, then they're not really serious about that party.
And what about yourself? I think you said you were thinking about your political party now. The Tories are ramping up for a possible spring election. Does that change things for you in terms of...
I'm still talking it over with my family and friends and kind of weighing everything, seeing who's out there that would support such a bid. So I haven't come to a final decision on that at all.
Do you talk to Rob Enders at all, or what do you know about Rob Enders?
I don't know. There's been the process for the leadership race hasn't been concluded. The committee has been set up by the executive committee, a leadership committee. I believe of 5 members. They're going to be meeting tonight to come up with some of the rules for the leadership race, and that proposal will be put forward to our executive committee this Friday. So there'll be rules in place. So obviously, no one has the ability to submit an application. And there's going to be a very rigorous leadership candidate approach that the party's going to set up here.
Do you think there will be a spring election?
We hope the Premier will keep his word. The last thing we need when the economy is going through some tough times is an election. That's the last thing we need. We need stability, economic stability, leadership stability. It's in the best interest of Albertans not to have a campaign. It's in the best interest of Albertans for us to get through this reduced revenue time and to make sure that government's running properly. An election would simply be a ploy to a political ploy at this point.
But would you guys, obviously it's been a bit of a rocky ride, would you be ready if there was one?
We're united, we're ready, but at the same time, it's one of these scenarios where it's unheard of that a premier and a majority government would break his election promise, break his word to many individuals. So we're hoping that he'll do the right thing and stay with an election call in 2016 as the current legislation states. So we're in preparation, we're constantly getting ready, but at the same time we hope that he would keep his word.